In one single transaction, a few weeks to the elections in 2015, sums of $100 billion and $289 million were just, embezzled by a few. When you consider that in 2014, as the Minister of Finance said, oil prices were at an average of $110 a barrel, and only 99 billion naira was spent on power works and housing. Only 99 billion. And in 2 weeks before the 2015 elections, 150 billion was released and essentially shared.
We want to caution the Vice President that he should stop banding figures. Anytime the Vice President has the opportunity to face the camera, he begins to announce figures that he cannot support.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time on the program. Professor, let me start with you.
Thank you.
A coalition against the sitting government, the party in power right now. How do you think this might work?
Well, I don't know how it may work. And I don't really care how Buhari is destroying our country.
What do you mean?
He's destroying our country. Look at what he's doing with the people who are going around killing, and he's not taking action against them. And because I think Buhari should not continue to rule us anymore.
Seun, I agree entirely with the professor. One thing we all agree we have in common is that the country is not working as it is presently. And the only constant thing is change. Change brought in the APC. And if the entire nation is dissatisfied with the state of affairs in the country, then the only thing necessary is change.
Jubilation all the way. It's the joy of
I'm delighted to formally announce to Nigerians this morning and our international friends and partners that 107 deputy students previously abducted have been unconditionally released by their abductors. This cheering and hearty development signifies our commitment to the security and well-being of all Nigerians. We are never in doubt about our focus and direction since the assumption of this administration. Security, anti-corruption, and the revamping of our economy are the main focus of our government. You will recall that on the 14th of this month, I paid a visit to Yobe State, during which I sympathized with the parents, families, government, and people of the state for the tragic abduction of the students of DEFCI.
It's a meeting to conclude the agenda we started the last time we met, which we didn't complete.
The former Edo State governor also dismissed as baseless calls by some pro-Tinubu members for him to resign.
Nigeria is at the moment in a state of inertia. Our country now is on a fast-track race to a bleak future for the unborn children. Beyond the hyperboles, and given the reality of our existence, the future ended yesterday. To effect the restructuring of the Nigerian state to a federal system of government where each and every federating unit shall hold equal and coordinate powers with the central authority, and where no state is subjected to an inferior position in the country.
The presence of eminent personalities at this press conference, it shows that you are ready to liberate yourself and be first-class citizens of Nigeria. We have the men, we have the resources, but we are treated as people who are second-class citizens in their own country. They have been asking the Inspector General of Police is asking that all, what do they call them? That anybody who has a gun, unlicensed gun, should surrender them. We are ready to do that. But one is asking a question. When are they going to disarm the herdsmen in Nigeria?
On this platform, we are people irrevocably committed to the destruction of this country, back to federalism as our founding fathers handed back to us. Anything less is not acceptable. They have stolen our sovereignty. They have taken Oloibiri to Abuja. And the people of Yenegua have to go and queue up in Abuja every month in order to get a federal allocation, turning the principle of federalism upside down. And they said we were people who were looking for relevance. But soon after that, they constituted a committee chaired by El Rufai. And he now says he wants regional police. He wants onshore oil to be owned by the states and offshore oil to be owned by the federal government.
All copy from the
Thank God they are waking up from their slumber. But we have started a movement that we will never stop until we regain our freedom. Thank you for your kind attention.
We will not let go if we don't take from them what belongs to us.
Here we produce resources from under our feet, and people stay in Abuja and Lagos and in other capitals of the world and call it, apportion it the way they like and call it oil blocks. And in fact and in truth, the historical, ancestral properties of the peoples of the Niger Delta.
If you are in the house, you are cooking one food, and people are rejecting it. They say, no, mommy, we don't like this food. Again and again and again. What do? You change. You change the recipe. Restructuring yours means reorganization in order to get peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, we from Akwa Ibom State, we stand resolute, we stand determined to protect our God-given right. The time is now to restructure Nigeria.
I bring you greetings from the government and people of Cross River State. We have suffered injustice from this federal government. It is therefore my message to you that the people of Cross River State stand firmly with PANDEF, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, as our brothers in demanding restructuring.
I am an injured man. Listen to me. I am an injured man. God did not create me a Nigerian. We are strong and powerful. We are armed. We are small but courageous. We are small but brave. And anybody who attempts to subdue us will be subdued. The only way is what the good book says. The kingdom of God suffereth violence, and violence taketh it by force.
Expected to serve as home to the future financial hub of Africa and covers 700,000 square meters of prime real estate. The president also unveiled a plaque to commemorate his visit to the area.
I'm very grateful for those who agreed to invest so much in our country.
I call on all Nigerians to join me in celebrating this man. Asuwaju is widely known as political strategist. But strategy is barren unless wedded to a higher purpose than just itself. Here, Asuwaju also sets himself apart. I have come to see him as a man who cares about people and who is a fountain of ideas for economic of the common man and woman.
Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu ran an unusual government in Lagos State. And let me say why it was unusual. The reason why it was unusual was because it was a government where there was a great deal of argument. And he, as the leader of that government, allowed so much argument and so many different shades of ideas. I recall a particular occasion when we started talking about the land use charge. Some of it is, today we're also, I know that there are issues around the land use charge. But when the land use charge when the whole concept developed around the land use charge, there were so many arguments. One group felt that we shouldn't even introduce a charge. Another group felt it was important to do so. I remember that in Ikeja, where this argument was taking place, in the governor's guest house, we were in a small room, and Asuwaju was there, Lai Mohammed was there, Wale Edun, Yemi Cardoso, I think Dele Alake and a few others. And we all gathered there, arguing on both sides. At some point, when Asuwaju was losing the argument, he said, Shey not the Bofuni. And I'll explain what that means. He said, were you the people who were voted for? Then he stormed out of the room and left. And then we all waited. Nobody left. We just waited and waited there. Then he came back a few minutes later and said, Tiloni, meaning, are you people still here? Then he continued the argument. Now he came back with more facts and figures. So we suspected that when he stormed out of the room, he actually went to go and bring some more facts and figures. In the end, we instituted the charge and so many other different ways by which the foundation for what we see in Lagos State today was developed.
I hereby ask the national chairman of our party to admit that our party, the People's Democratic Party of Nigeria, made many mistakes.
That Nigerians will not forgive and they won't forget until they return all the funds they looted.
Our advice to the Vice President is that as a professor of law, he knows the pathway to follow when you accuse somebody of corruption. We challenge him to stop banding figures, but he should mention names.
One, the PDP chairman, Uche Secondus, on the 19th of February 2015, he took 200 million naira only from the office of the then NSA under his own name. On the 24th of October 2014, the then PDP financial secretary took 600 million naira only from the office of the then NSA. The then National Police Secretary, Olisa Metu, who is on trial for collecting 1.4 billion naira from the office of the then NSA. Of course, you all know the case of Dr. Raymond Okwesi, chairman of DAR Communications, on trial, who is on trial for taking 2.1 billion naira from the then office of the NSA. The former SSA, to President Jonathan, Budafa Walipamo Owe, is also on trial over 830 million kept in accounts of 4 different companies. 6, the former President Jonathan's cousin, Robert Azibaola. Just on Thursday, a federal high court ruled that he has a case to answer for collecting $40 million from the office of then NSA. The PDP is an hypocrite.
When the PDP and the APC have this exchange, what do you make of it?
Well, it's a question of the pot cutting the kettle black.
Adakole, if you are talking of any state in Nigeria today that has become a killing field, Benue is number 1. In fact, it has overtaken Borno State in the terms of killings and all of that. Between January and now, in Benue alone, the number of the dead is over 200.
We're counting dead bodies now on national TV, and the government they are playing some kind of funny politics. If the IG of police is not asking the governor of Benue to resign, it is the director of SSS or NIA saying that it is a communal clash. All those kind of unnecessary rhetorics.
Of course, if I have taken the time to come here, I will spare time to see anything that is worth seeing. But seeing and sympathizing and giving condolence is one thing. Finding solution is the thing that we must all endeavor to do.
Issue that we actually shaped this week, of course, is the president's scheduled visit to some parts of the country, to Benue State today, as he continues his troubleshooting efforts to the volatile states where violence have claimed over 1,000 lives.
The much anticipated visit is finally here. President Muhammadu Buhari in Benue State to meet with the people eager for a solution to the problem of violence between herdsmen and farmers.
I actually campaigned like I've never campaigned for the president. I believe that when he takes over, there will be a new dawn in Nigeria. So we all voted for him. Thank God in my constituency and in Benue State as a whole, he won the election convincingly. Now, 3 years down the line, do I still feel the same way? No.
We expect fireworks tomorrow. And some are allegedly calling for your removal.
I beg, can't you move forward? Move forward, that belongs to history.
But when President Muhammadu Buhari was giving his remark, the game changed.
I have taken some time to review and seek advice on the resolution, and what I found is that it contravenes both our party constitution and the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A caretaker committee cannot remedy the situation and cannot validly act in place of elected officers. Fortunately, we have already approved a timetable for the holding of congresses and elections. I think this should be allowed to go forward, and all efforts should now be geared towards making them a great success.
I know how swiftly you acted. For this ex-general, his grievance is over the swift action taken by the president in Zamfara State, where violence was reported.
It was reported to you that there was a problem of cattle rustlers in Zamfara State. You adorned yourself with a smart military uniform, full general in the field marshal, and you went there and swiftly took action to them.
Mind you, as we speak, there is a deferred mass burial again. That is a lot
that should have taken place today.
That should have taken place today. There's a deferred.
They have deferred it to Thursday.
Exactly. So
I think there are about 23 people involved in that. That's the latest killings in Okpoko.
Yes.
There's no way I could deliberately overlook what is happening security-wise here and anywhere in Nigeria. So please try to convince your constituencies that through the processes of law enforcement agents, the police, the SSS, and the military, I'm doing my best.
Before I go public, I have come before you to tell you once again, I intend to offer myself to run for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
A request for a loan was passed to this chamber to discuss.
4. That according to the latest Debt Management Office figure, Kaduna State has a total debt stock of $232 million, making it the second most indebted state in Nigeria. 5. That approving the current loan request of $350 million for Kaduna State will bring its total debt stock to $582 million. From 1960 to 2018, our debt profile is $232 million, and now will jump to $582.
My constituency did not give me the authority for a loan to be approved, whatsoever may be the case. The money received in Kaduna State is much. They are busy retiring people, sacking people, and you are asking for loan to do what with the loan?
I crave the indulgence of our colleagues that the application of that loan, among other things, is indeed a misplaced priority, as we have clearly seen, and hence I strongly stand behind the prayer of the chairman of the committee that this very important chamber do reject that request.
The committee therefore moves that the Senate do reject Kaduna State Development Policy Operation in the sum of $350 million, only as contained in the 2016-2018 borrowing plan of Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief. We so move. Thank you.
So, dear colleagues, the prayer is that the Senate do reject Kaduna State Development Policy Operation (DPO) in the sum of $250 million only, as contained in 2016 to 2018 external borrowing plan of Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. Those in support of this recommendation say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it, so the loan is appropriately rejected.
But then not every one of them received the good news. This woman's daughter is said to have been the only one still in captivity because she refused to accept the terms of converting to the religion of the terrorists. A story that has put her sister in coma and their mother in confusion.
One of the girls was held back on religious ground. She's a Christian and refused to denounce her religion.
We're speaking of governance will and responsibility, the readiness to respond with massive punitive action when the fundamental security of a people is violated. We're speaking here of a president showing up at the arena of human desecration, not to shed any unctuous tears, but to read the riot act and give orders right on the scene of violation. Order his forces into action against the arrogant, bloodthirsty renegades of society who wallow in the blood of others, having been assured, some way or the other, of the cloak of impunity.
We as a people and our nation are in the midst of a great endeavor. We seek the change, the ways and means of our collective existence. We seek to construct a nation where leaders no longer rule by whim, but by government according to law and for the betterment of the people. Forums such as this present ideas, and spark important discussions that enliven our national discourse and enrich our policy options. Our goal is to bring together every section of the nation and every Nigerian of every creed, every region and ethnic group in mutually beneficial, productive, social, economic, and political relationship.
There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state and, of course, in all the riverine states of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
They also claim to be working as political thugs for the senator representing Kogi West, Dino Melaye, whom they claim ordered them to recruit and train other thugs to work for him ahead of the 2019 general elections. The force public relations officer, Jimo Moshood, says the police have written officially to the Senate President to release Senator Dino Melaye for questioning at the force headquarters in Kogi State to defend allegations of conspiracy and unlawful possession of firearms against him. But he has refused to honor the invitation.
Kabiru Saidu is also known as alias Osama. He has been, according to him, he has been working with as a political thug to Senator Dino Melaye.
SARS cell in A Division was broken by suspect and 6 suspects escaped. The names of the suspects are Kabiru Saidu aka Osama, Nuhu Salihu aka Small, Aliyu Isa, Adam Suleiman, Emmanuel Audu and Musa Mohammed, who are under detention at the A Division Lokoja, who escaped from lawful custody this morning. The 4 suspects I mentioned were under court remand. They were remanded by court, and the 2 of them were involved in the case of Dino Melaye.
Not only did he develop a whole generation of persons who have become, in various respects, leaders, but also that he allowed that group of people to develop ideas, to contradict him many times, to controvert his own ideas many times, and many times he gave in to those ideas, and we've seen the results of it.
Recently, in the first week of March, the most notorious cattle rustler, because people know them, sometimes they will even go to a community and ask for money. Or they come and kill people, steal cattle. So now these guys had become so, lawless, you can't handle them. The military has not been able to put them in check. Despite the fact the federal government said it was going to set up a base in that state. It's still a problem. They kill people. Cattle rustlers kill people with the kind of wickedness that even Boko Haram does not show. So now the story that I'm trying to tell is that in the first week of March, the most notorious cattle rustler in Zamfara, Buhari Daji, was killed, and people heaved a sigh of relief. But it was actually a rival gang.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was actually a rival gang,
exactly,
led by Dogo Giri, that killed Buhari Daji. So, and that guy is said to be even more dangerous. This is his picture that you are seeing on the screen. But you can see now that it has not stopped the killings, because this week They already killed 32 people.
I hear the figure is rising.
It's rising. You know, usually those who get injured because of our poor health services, those who get injured eventually die from their injuries. So this is the situation.
In fact, they say even in Zamfara, some places, some communities in Zamfara, they brandish weapons. Openly. So it means the places that might be safe will be like the state capital, which is Gusau.
Wow.
So relatively, it means we are having another Boko Haram in disguise.
From the moment the National Assembly announced its intention to set a sequence for general elections in the country, eyebrows have been raised. The other areas up for amendment in the 2010 Electoral Act have not elicited this level of debate, as focus is firmly on the amendment of Section 25, which proposes that the National Assembly election be held first and the presidential election last. This is against an earlier election schedule released by electoral body INEC, which slated the presidential and National Assembly elections on the first day of the elections.
The political party whose candidate died may...
As the debate on the proposed schedule rages on, the chairman of the Senate Committee on INEC presents a conference report detailing the decision of both chambers on the agreements reached for amendment in the Electoral Act.
Presidential decision to decline assent to the Electoral Amendment Bill 2018. The amendment to the sequence of the elections in Section 25 of the Principal Act may infringe upon the constitutionally guaranteed discretion of the Independent National Electoral Commission to organize, undertake, and supervise all elections provided in Section 15A of the third schedule to the Constitution. The amendments to Section 152, subsection 3 to 5 of the Principal Act may raise constitutional issues over the competence of the National Assembly to legislate over local government elections. Please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest consideration. Yours sincerely, Muhammadu Buhari.
And all the communication coming from Mr. President, we definitely go through the same legislative processes, which means we have received it now. It's for us to look at it. The Peace Corps came, the same thing. All of it is going to receive attention, and senators or members of the House of Reps, as the case may be, will begin to look at it because it's a document coming back to the National Assembly.
Mr. President, recently, only yesterday, the social media and the newspapers were awash with claims that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and even the House of Reps are collecting $50,000. The House of Reps, $30,000. Mr. President, this is very unfortunate. It impinges on my privileges as a Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My constituents have been calling me. Some of them have been asking me to bring their own money out of the what I have collected. Mr. President, front page of Sun newspaper. Front page of Sun newspaper carries it, showing that their monies are being shared. Yes, sir.
Mr. President, I also came with this paper. I also came with the paper because I felt this is scandalous. And for a Senate, the highest lawmaking body of any country, to be so accused. And I stand here to declare and say that I know nothing about this.
So Mr. President has really demonstrated that though a converted Democrat, I think he is becoming more democratic than the born Democrat by coming out to really emphasize on the rule of law. And like I said, if the president probably has the mandate and the constitutional prerequisite of the NEC, that could have been a blanket statement. It will have sufficed it. That is why we said whatever he says is advisory. And I'm telling you, the NEC will never wash away what Mr. President says.